You alright, Ellie?
Yeah. Where are we?
Inverary Castle.
Inverary Castle. There.
You're an expert guide.
Welcome to the A&E Travel Channel. We are Ellie and Alex, and this is our 2-week holiday road tripping around Scotland. That, as Ellie rightly says, was Inverary Castle, and this is Kilchurn Castle on Loch Shiel, which is 15 miles and around a 20-minute drive north from Inverary. This is Loch Leven, near Glencoe, which we reached by doing the hour scenic drive first east on the A85 to Tindrum and then north up the A82. This route takes you directly through Glencoe, which is spectacular, but unfortunately it was quite misty when we made the journey and our footage didn't come out too well. Next up was Castle Stalker, famous amongst other things for being the castle in the final scenes of Monty Python and the Holy Grail. We followed the A828 south and eventually came to the beautiful seaside resort of Oban. It is known as the unofficial capital of the West Highlands of Scotland and the gateway to the Hebridean Isles. And as I'm sure you'll agree, looks absolutely awesome in the sun. We had a fantastic time at McGaig's Tower, and as you can see, the views from the top are absolutely stunning. We got really lucky with the weather when we went, and as you can see, the sun's out, the sky's blue, and I can't recommend it enough. As you can see, as the sun went down, we were at the pub, which is usually where you can find us when the sun goes down, and this is our view looking out over the green, across the pub garden we were in, over to the sun setting over the west coast of Scotland. It's absolutely beautiful. We took the Jacobite Steam Train, which Harry Potter fans will recognise as the Hogwarts Express from the films, from Fort William past the Glenfinnan Monument over the viaduct to Malig. That's the Isles of Rum and Egg you can see in the distance, hopefully the only time those two things are together. That's Ellie in front of the train, and the wonderful little seaside town of Malig.
Where are we, Ellie?
Malig.
Did you enjoy the train?
Yeah. Hogwarts Express. Nice views. Recommend again. Did you?
Yeah.
You do get very good views from the train, but unfortunately every time I took my camera out to get a great view of something, a tree or a group of trees would come up, as is always the way, but you do get some fantastic views. This is Neptune's Staircase, where some people on the right of the screen thought Ellie was absolutely mad. They didn't know she was waving to anyone, because I was on a different bridge. The tallest mountain in the United Kingdom, the majestic Ben Nevis. We separately drove back to the Glenfinnan Viaduct to get some views of the train and the bridge and the loch itself, and Loch Shiel, as you can see, is absolutely stunning, which became the word of our holiday and is very much the word of this video, because Scotland is so good looking. Ellie's got her camera out, because here comes the train.
So, Glenfinnan turned out to be a pretty worthwhile detour. We then jumped back in the car and headed east back past Fort William into the Central Highlands. After about 45 minutes, we arrived at...
Where are we, Ellie?
We're near Spinbridge, but we're at something dam. Where are we, Alex?
Lagan Dam
Lagan Dam.
and Loch Lagan.
Loch Lagan. It's very lovely. It's very windy, isn't it, like the road? Goes left and right and left and right and left and right.
Just driving around any part of Scotland, you can see views like this out the window as long as the sun's out and the mist's lifted. It's just, you feel so lucky to be there. These are the views on the way between the Commando Monument at Speen Bridge, and we were on our way to Dorney, and we didn't have this in the travel itinerary or anything, but just look at those views. We just had to get out and start taking photos of each other.
Say, I love lochs.
This is Alien Danan. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, sorry if I'm not, but this is the view that you might recognise. It's famous on shortbread tins and biscuit tins everywhere from the UK.
If you like a chomp on a biscuit, then we'd certainly recommend this walk on the Isle of Skye, the Trottenish Peninsula of the Isle of Skye. This is on one of the most northwesterly points of Scotland. It's about an hour away from Dorney, where we just were, but also about a 5-hour drive from Glasgow, just to give you some perspective if you're coming from further afield. This walk is up the Old Man of Storr. It's a 719 metre elevation, so for Alex and I that took about a 2-hour climb, there or thereabouts. We were a bit panting and a bit warm by the top, even though, as you can see from the weather, it wasn't a particularly sunny day. But up here you'll see the green slopes, the rocky hills and the sound of Raasay. There's plenty of people taking photos of the sheep on the mountainside, but also of each other, which is very nice, and I can see why. I think a lot of painters come up here to capture the sunset and sunrise. But yeah, taking that view.
Well, I guess not the very top, but top as we can go.
If you continue north up from the Old Man of Storr, you get to Lealt and then Mealt Falls.
Not on camera, it's all fucking midges around here.
Next up, we drove the half an hour to Uig, or Uig, or Ug, or I think Uig, meaning bay in Old Norse, which Ellie drove us to very expertly over some very, very not good roads. Portree is the capital of the Isle of Skye, and even though it has that title, it is not a big place. So if you're going there, we very much suggest that you book ahead for meals in restaurants, because we had to drive back to Ug to get some to get anything to eat, because even the fish and chip shop had a massive queue.
The A87. It's this, then it goes up to Skye, past Ely and Danan. It's up there with the A82.
This from here, we have a boat coming down Loch Ness. You can see it in the middle of the loch down there. So that vessel is a vessel called the Lord of the Glens. It is the largest vessel that could come out of the North Sea.
Incredible to show the power of the Church of the Christians. Sightings of a big fish occurred in the 19th and early 20th century, but in 1933 this story...
As you head this way, it gets much wider, it gets much deeper. And down there is more water than every single drop of water in the whole of England, plus most of the water in Wales. So as you can see, we're literally scratching the surface here.
Absolutely brilliant sights down at Fort Augustus. There's some lovely bars and restaurants all the way up the lochs, and it's just so pretty. After that we moved up to Inverness. We drove up the Caledonian Canal, which unfortunately we didn't get too much footage of because it was absolutely fantastic, like everything, but we were really lucky still with the weather. It was holding out for us, the sunny blue skies in Inverness.
That's the all-important brush.
From Inverness, we then took the A9 south to Loch Shiel in the Cairngorms National Park. We're not paddleboarders ourselves, but this loch has a very calm and tranquil feel to it, so I can imagine it's pretty perfect for a relaxing paddle day. Loch Shiel means Loch of the Island in Scottish Gaelic apparently, which makes sense when you see the castle smack bang in the middle of it. If you fancy a walk or run while you're there, then there's a 5-kilometre trail all around the loch through the Rothimercus forest, where there's plenty of pine trees to keep you cool in the sun. If you've got the whole afternoon, then I'd definitely recommend taking a picnic with you so you can enjoy this funky shaped freshwater loch. Following that, here are a few more sites to stop off at on the A9 south to Edinburgh.
Very good dancing there. Here they are, the Kelpies, a tragic tale of two giant metal horses trapped underground by an evil canal maker type person. Or the story of one horse on the left who's very mischievous, has just stood on the foot of the other horse on the right. He's in extreme pain because of it. Real reasons, I can't be asked to find out. Here's Ellie with an ice cream.
Hello! Did you tell them about it standing on the horse's tail?
Don't make it seem like a repeat comedy.
It does look pretty accurate. I think that's more of an accurate rendition of history rather than comedy.
Yeah, well, there's the Kelpies. And there's Ellie's ice cream. And I think I know which one she prefers.
So that was our 2-week trip all around Scotland. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video and seeing our holiday. We absolutely loved Scotland, and we're hoping to go back as soon as we can. But until then, we'll see you next time.